What's up guys, it's Karl, and I actually just got back from Turkey, Istanbul, a couple days ago for the launch of some new Huawei products, their Watch GT3 Pro. That's the one that I was mainly testing, mostly because the name GT3. I'm a huge Porsche fan, so GT3 for the GT3 Pro. I should probably do a video when my GT3 comes. It'll be like a GT3 squared. That's the smartwatch that I'm wearing right now. And I know that we're all crazy about Apple Watches. It's the most successful selling smartwatch, but there are always other options. And I'm always on the hunt trying to find different brands that can be that Apple Watch killer. I know that's a very popular quote just because I'm not crazy about the Apple Watch design. For some reason, I just do not dig the square design. I come from a OG watch person. I love wearing my traditional watch. And when I say that I always wear a watch, you can see some of the tan lines that I picked up in Turkey because it was so hot, walking close to 50,000 steps in 3 days. This thing was strapped to my wrist. It gave me more of a watch tan than I think I'd like. But yeah, here's my review of the GT3 Pro, probably the best alternative smartwatch that you can get right now, with that caveat, if you can get your hands on it. So I know if you're in the US, unfortunately, you'll have to grab one in Europe if you're on vacation. If you're up in Canada like myself, this is coming out soon and it's available throughout the rest of the world, which I do think is a shame because, like I said, it's one of the best to use. So to start off with the name, I mentioned I'm a big fan, GT3 Pro. This one comes in two different options, in titanium 46, or to be specific, 46.6 millimeters, or you can go down to the smaller 42.9, 43 millimeter ceramic. I myself am a fan of the titanium. It's lightweight, it's a premium material, and you can get that with either a rubber strap, which I'm always a fan of. I always wear my smartwatches to work out. Rubber just helps wick sweat away. In Turkey, when I was sweating my butt off walking all those steps, lots of sweat was on my wrist. So just having something light, wicking away sweat is always great. Or if you want to go a bit more premium, you can get a titanium band as well. The ceramic case version, all white with the ceramic links, honestly not my personal preference. I don't have the style to pull off that kind of watch, but it's definitely more eye-catchy. This titanium, it's more sleek. It has a form factor like a traditional watch. Actually, when I pull my OG watch on, they actually look pretty similar in not only the size, but the overall look. And of course, I am rocking the rubber strap over on my Omega. So I am a big fan of that. And when you compare that to what Apple offers, the Apple Watch does come in more variants, and I do have to give props to Apple for that. So you can get it in aluminum, cheaper price point, titanium, stainless steel, even a Hermes one, which would match the ceramic over on the Huawei, just to get those extra style points. When you do compare it to their Watch 3 Pro, this is where I think the GT3 Pro, I know slightly confusing, gets a lot of kudos. I found that the Watch 3 Pro was just too thick and too chunky. The GT3 Pro, just like the car, is sleeker, it's thinner, it just looks better on the wrist. And when a lot of people will compare that to maybe the most recognizable or one of the best-selling Android smartwatches, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, I can't even include this into the conversation, mostly because the front face is sadly glass. It's actually Gorilla Glass DX or whatever name that they use. It is so scratch prone. It's something that I can never recommend. And it feels like a step down. It almost feels, I'm gonna use traditional watch terms here, like this is a swatch and we're going on to, say, the world of Omega. For all of you Speedmaster fans, I know that they had the Speedmaster Moon Edition collab, which I'm a fan of. I'm kind of going down the watch geek hole here, but this does feel like an inferior, lesser product. When you look at the GT3 Pro, or even say hold an Apple Watch, both of their faces are made out of sapphire. It's the same material used in high-end Swiss watches, so you just don't get any scratching. And for, I think, basic terms for everyone else, the backs of cameras, the actual glass on the lenses, those are made out of sapphire. Because your watch is something that you interact with on a daily basis, it's something that you bang against tables that you might accidentally nick. The last thing that you want to do is scratch your watch face. And for that reason alone, I can never recommend the Samsung Watch 4 to anyone, just because I know that if it scratches just like your smartphone screen, yeah, it's just honestly such a shame. So the material choices on the HUAWEI watch are top notch. They've slimmed down the form factor, and the fact that it's made out of titanium make it nice and lightweight. It's one of the best looking and most durable watches that you can get right now. The second big feature about this watch, which I love, is the battery life. And once again, comparing it to Series 7, which everyone compares it to, this will typically last me a day and a half with light usage. I hate taking my watch off my wrist. You can tell with that nasty watch tan. I always have something on my wrist, and I always forget to wear my Apple Watch again. This watch lasts 14 days, so that's 2 weeks, and since the time that I've had it in Istanbul, in Turkey, doing all that walking, doing all the testing, I've only charged it once, and that's when I got it on day one. We're looking at 7 days later, still haven't charged it, and I think the battery life is one of the best features across, I think, any smartwatch. So the watch is also IP68 certified, 30 meters of dive distance or depth, 5 atmospheres of water resistance, and it is actually one of the only watches, including the Apple Watch, that is resistant to salt water. So technically, if I did swim when I was in Turkey, I know that the watch would survive. And once again, comparing that to most other Android smartwatches, I'm looking at Watch 4, those cannot hold up to salt water. The next major thing around fitness tracking, so obviously I was really tracking my steps in Istanbul. I was averaging around 20,000 steps a day. The back of the watch is actually ceramic, which does help with all of the metrics, so tracking basic things like heart rate. You can also track ECG, blood oxygen, which is SpO2. You can also track temperature, which my body was definitely overheating while I was testing this out, so I was constantly getting those notifications. And the last tie into health is workout mode. So I know that there's 100+ workout modes that you can choose from. One thing that did bother me a little bit, on the main screen, there is no specific workout mode for weightlifting or strength resistance training, which is the majority of my workouts. So, you know, working out back here in the studio, I did actually crush a couple workouts when I was in Turkey. I just had to select other. Not the most ideal, and I know that's just being a bit nitpicky, that odd 1%. You can do all of the great workouts like running, swimming, hiking. You can even select things like the driving range for golf, which I'm going to try to do a bit more since I'm back home now. And there is even its own golf watch face, which I definitely have to test out. The one thing I would say about the watch faces, you can select from a bunch of pre-installed ones. You can even go into the HUAWEI store to download your own. They just aren't as good as the ones over on the Apple Watch. That's obviously personal preference, and I'd love to see some more customization options through the watch faces. And the last thing about this watch, which I can already foresee in the comments, how can you use this if you don't have a HUAWEI device? Because it's in its own ecosystem with Harmony OS. I mentioned to you guys, I use my 13 Pro Max as my daily driver. This watch works with both Android and iOS. If you just download the HUAWEI Health app, you can unlock all the features of this watch. It's packed with premium features. You can track a ton of biometrics, and compared to most other smartwatches, I would actually put its performance in terms of snappiness and responsiveness online with the Apple Watch Series 7. It kind of matches or blows away everything else on the Android side. It really just depends if you can pick one up. I'll of course leave pricing. That does vary by region. And overall, the build, it really reminds me why I'm an OG smart, or I guess not smartwatch, an OG watch guy. It just really reminds me of what I rock on my wrist on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Remember, it's not perfect. I wish there were more face customization options, and honestly, some more options for bands on purchase. How dope would it be if this had an orange rubber strap or an orange silicone strap? I think that would look pretty dope. And of course, lastly, availability, if you can actually pick one up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review though. I do have actually an extra unit to give away, so if you're still tuned in, let me know down below in the comments where you would rock this watch. If you can match my 50,000 steps over 3 days, big kudos to you. I think you might just be the winner of that giveaway just on awesomeness of walking. But yeah, I will catch the rest of you in one of my next vids. Peace.